Hey everybody, it's Allie Wyman. I'm either your personal one-on-one push coach, health coach, Beachbody coach, whatever you want to call me, life coach, whatever. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time and kind of go over the 21-day fix, country heat, core de force, hammer and chisel, meal plan. They're all based off of the 21-day fix, and I know that for most, incorporating the container system can be a bit of a PIA in the beginning. So I kind of want to take some of the confusion out of it for you. So first of all, I want to say thank you for trusting myself and my coaches to really help you through this process. We're really excited for you. Make sure to get plugged into the accountability group. Really utilize it for what it's there for. If you check out the file section, we've got lots of files about recipes, meal plans, extra accountability, you name it, it's in there, so utilize it. But first I wanted to just say, with anything new, there's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take some time to really understand the process, to really incorporate it. So I want you to just take a deep breath, and we'll take this one day at a time, one step at a time, and we'll do it together. So in the beginning, you might be kind of like attached at the hip with these containers, but you will, as you utilize the system more, as you get further along, you will really understand more. You'll really start to be able to eyeball these portion systems without needing the actual containers. So first thing I want you to do is whatever the meal plan it is, mind you, like I said, you may not actually be doing country heat. It might be 21-day fix, might be 21-day fix extreme, might be 22-minute hardcore, might be core de force, might be hammer and chisel. They all are based off of a container system. So I want you to get out this booklet. It's going to be kind of thick. Now I know some of you did get the annual all access pass. If that is the case, whatever meal plan you will be following, make sure you go to the right side of the screen and there'll be all the nutritional documents. So you'd want to just click on that, download PDF, print it out if you want to. Not something you have to do, but either way, you need to be able to figure out what calorie bracket you are in. Mind you, we are not counting calories. We are keeping track of containers and only containers, but you do need to know how much you need to eat. So if you've got a booklet, it's the first part of the book, and it'll say something along the lines of finding container plan that's right for you. So you'll do a little calculation. You'll figure out exactly how many, around how many calories you should be getting. Mind you, it is a range because it's not exactly a one size fits all kind of thing. And you've got options. So like one food group or one food product might be a little bit higher in calories than another, but it's all within the same bracket. So once you figure out exactly which meal plan you're in, which will be on the next page, there are several options. So for instance, for country heat, you've got several options. And once you figure out which bracket you're in, you'll know exactly how many servings of each type of food you should be getting. So for instance, if you're doing country heat and you're in meal plan A, you'll get 3 servings or 3 green containers. You'll get 2 purple containers or 2 fruits, 4 proteins or 4 red containers, 2 carbs or 2 yellow containers, 1 healthy fat or 1 blue container, 1 seasoned dressing or 1 orange container, and then 2 oils and nut butters. Oils and or nut butters. So that seems like, well, what the heck do I do now? Like, okay, so I eat these, but what do I do as far as what can I have? What can I have? What exactly do I do with it now? Well, that's okay. Go to the next page. Figure it out, right? Next page tells you all about tally sheets. So you know exactly how much you should be having every single day. But how do you keep track of it? What I do is there's either an app on your phone if you have an Android or an Apple phone, and it's called 21 Day Fix. That's for the 21 Day Fix program, but there are all sorts of applications for tracking your containers for all the workouts. If you're not an app kind of person or you need a pen and paper, you can go to teambeachbody.com and then go to Get Fit, I believe. And then you can go to the worksheets, and there is a worksheet for literally every single program. And as you can see, you'll write down exactly how many of each container you should be getting, and then you keep track of it every single day to make sure you've gotten everything. This is great because we really just need to figure out, or we really need to keep track of how much food we are getting every day. And when people talk about, weight loss, and 80% of that comes from nutrition. So keeping track of exactly what you're eating is super important. Now you know exactly what you should be eating, but we need to make sure we're on track. That is what this is for. There's also a little spot at the bottom for water. And what you should be getting as far as water is half of your weight in ounces. That's how much water you should be having. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be getting 50 ounces of water. You weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water every single day. Don't underestimate the importance of water. It's super important to flush out your toxins, to keep your body hydrated. You are working out too. So now we know how to keep track. We know how much we're supposed to be eating, but what can and can't we eat? Okay, next page. You will get a list for every single container as to what you can be eating. So for a green container, say, you can have 4 servings. Well, some of your options are kale, spinach, broccoli, asparagus. There are over 20 different options. So there's plenty of things to choose from, and it's not like you have to have the same one for every single meal. The things that are on the top of the list are more nutrient dense than the things that are on the bottom of the list. That's not to say that the ones on the bottom of the list are bad for you. They're just not as healthy for you, and you should not have them as often. So you've got, and the cool thing about this whole system is you can literally jam pack these containers. So say you have, you want asparagus, say you want spinach, you can jam pack these containers, and that is your serving size. You can do that unless it states otherwise. For instance, asparagus, it says you can have 10 large spears. So for asparagus, obviously you're not you're not jam packing the container. You are having 10 large spears instead. It will label everything. If there is no serving size next to it, it just means that you can jam pack your container. So let's move on to the next container, which is the purple container, fruits. Again, top of the list are more nutrient dense, better for you. The ones on the bottom of the list are not as good for you, shouldn't have them as often. And I just kind of want you guys to, at this point, really just familiarize yourself with the list, decide what you do like, what you don't like, and for the purpose of your next 21 days, 30 days, whatever the length this group is and your program is, I want you to just simply stick to this list. If it's not on these lists, let's just skip it, okay? There are things out there that you can still have that are not on this list, but we are just trying to jumpstart. We're trying to get you in the rhythm, trying to help you understand what's good for you, what's not good for you, portion control. So for the purpose of really getting you on track, let's simply stick to this list and only this list, okay? So some of my go-tos for let's just say for my green container, my vegetables. I have spinach a lot. And it's not to say that I have a lot of salad. I just pretty much use it in everything that I make. Because I love spinach, and I can hide it in a casserole. I can add it to dishes, and it doesn't seem like I'm eating a crap ton of vegetables. That's one of my go-tos. Fruits, I typically add some of my fruit to my shake. I'm not the best, I'll be honest, I'm not the best about getting my fruits in, but you do need natural sugar, and this is where you get most of your natural sugar. Red container is actually where your Shakeology comes into play. Your Shakeology is considered a protein. Red container is protein. Again, the things higher up on the list are the things that are better for you than the things that are on the bottom of the list. That's not to say that I don't have the things that are on the bottom of the list, but I usually make them very rarely because they have more fat. They're not as good for you, not as much nutritional content, like I said. And again, in the red container, it'll say, just like everything, it'll say, exactly how much. And if it doesn't say exactly how much, you get to jam pack your container full. So that's exciting. We really like food. I really like food. I don't know about you. But I think, when getting used to a new meal plan, a new workout program, any of this kind of stuff, it can be overwhelming. And I just want you guys to really kind of take some time to really get to familiarize yourself with the meal plan, come to understand exactly, what your calorie bracket is, how many servings of each food group you're supposed to have, exactly what you can and can't have as far as the meal plan is concerned, kind of figure out which ones you like, breeze through. One thing I want you to understand about carbs is we've often been told carbs are bad. Let's, eliminate carbs or significantly reduce carbs. You get carbs. Carbs are important. Carbs, you need carbs. You need them from energy. You need them for working out. You need them for lots of things. But let's get the whole white bread thing out of our head. We don't need white bread because that just turns into sugar. And pasta, regular pasta, just turns into sugar. That whole enriched white flour is terrible for us. So let's get the whole we shouldn't have carbs thing out of our head unless otherwise recommended by a doctor. You have a specific need to not have carbs or severely restrict them. The average person needs carbs. Again, if you look at your list, you will have the healthier ones at the top, the not as healthy ones towards the bottom. I typically have sweet potato or brown rice. Occasionally I have an English muffin or a tortilla because I like to mix it up. We all like to mix it up. We can't have the same old crap every day, right? So the blue container, healthy fat. One thing that we don't normally talk about is healthy fat. We think we get all our fat from meat, and we aren't getting everything that we need there. So we have a strict container, which some of the things that are on this list are like avocado or almonds, cheese, that kind of stuff. And it specifically tells you how much again, or you can jam pack your container. So next, we've got an orange container, which is seeds or dressings. I never used to get any of these in my diet at all, like unless I was just, happened to randomly have dressing, and the dressing that I was having was terrible. So I highly recommend that you home make your dressings. The creamy garlic dressing, which is actually from the Ultimate Reset, is amazing. It's up on my blog. You need to make it. Like, it's just that amazing. You've got to make it. And there are recipes in your book as well. But if, like, worst case scenario, you just don't have time, you need a dressing, the Bolthouse dressings, that are in the refrigerated section usually of the grocery store, those are typically pretty good. And then last but not least, we have teaspoons. Teaspoons are they're also a healthy fat. We do need oil in our diet, so some ways we can get them are like olive oil or coconut oil, which you can use to cook with, or peanut butter, you can add to your shake, that kind of stuff. So the next thing I want to talk about in your booklet is, or in your meal plan, is substitutions for your meal plan. So say you want to make Shakeology with milk or almond milk or something, and it's not really listed in your meal plan or in the food list. So it's actually under substitutions, so you can actually substitute out a yellow container for several milk items, wine, or fruit juices. So it's on your substitution page. And then you also have a treat page, which you only get to have them, you can replace one a week, one yellow or one orange a week with several of these treat options. So obviously, I don't do this very often, especially because when I cheat, I have a whole entire meal, just not like a little treat. But it's important to know if you need one, or if you need to do a treat, what your options are and what you do. But it tells you right here on the page with the treats, right after substitutions, how you would go about marking them down in your container list. So you've got your tally, you know exactly what to do. Okay, so today, instead of my extra serving of rice, I'm going to use it for a treat, or I'm going to use it for almond milk, or whatever. When I'm being super diligent, I do not use milk with my Shakeology. I use water so I can keep my yellow container. I like to keep the yellow containers and use them for food, not liquid, personally. You also have a bunch of free foods. Free foods are obviously water, things you can mix into your water, because I know people get super bored, are, you know, lemon wedges, lime wedges, oranges, strawberries, and obviously infused water. I don't mind water, just plain old water all the time, but I know for some you gotta infuse. You can have filtered flat water, sparkling water, but no Crystal Light, no flavored water, because most of them are got aspartame in them and they're not good for you. Naturally flavor your water, or just have plain water. Other free stuff are herbs, spices, that kind of thing. As far as seasoning goes, season the heck out of everything if you want to. Just make sure your seasonings do not have sodium in them. It needs to be sodium free, so onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, chili powder. And so for example, if you want to make something like a taco season, like a taco flavor, something Mexican, instead of taking like one of those pre-packaged taco seasoning packs, you make the flavoring yourself. You break it down. So, and there are recipes on making those kinds of seasonings in the back of your book. Excuse me. Or if you're not sure, just send me a little message and I'll help you figure out how to make the seasoning you're looking for. You do not want the prepackaged avocado mix. You don't want the prepackaged taco seasoning. You need to make it yourself, because they load it up with crap to make it last forever on the shelf, okay? Other free foods are, hot sauce, flavor extracts, lemon or lime, vinegars, mustard, garlic, all that kind of stuff. So my coffee and tea drinkers, either of those are totally okay. You can have them. What the problem we have with those is how you're sweetening them. You should be using minimal milk with them, or none. None would be better. Let's just say nix the creamer. The creamer is where all your issues come into play, I promise. Let's just nix the creamer. Do milk and like honey or stevia in the raw to sweeten it, okay? What's next? Okay, so next, the meal planning process. Mind you, obviously I just kind of skipped over the rest of the book. The rest of the book are recipes. So you've got like half the book or 3/4 of the book that are just recipes, so you're not without options, okay? Again, also in our accountability group, I've got all sorts of stuff in there as well for portion control, for meal planning, for meal prepping, for recipes, kid-friendly recipes, Shakeology recipes, you name it, it's in there. And if you can't find it, just type me up a message, we'll figure it out for you. So meal planning, barely any of us do this anymore unless they have a bunch of kids. And the process seems so freaking crazy, like we have no idea, how do I incorporate all these containers into meals? How do I do that? So let me tell you what I do. I sit down once a week and just figure out my normal staples. Mind you, I have Shakeology, I have typically I have, eggs. I typically have like a turkey taco somewhere in there. So I kind of just write out what I'm having. So I have Shakeology for one meal. That's a red, and whatever I add to it, say it's a red and green because I'll add spinach, and I put peanut butter, so it's a teaspoon. So I'll write out so I'll just have like a calendar, and I'll say Monday for breakfast every single day, Shakeology with spinach and peanut butter. So that takes care of a red, a green, and a teaspoon. So the rest of the day, I have all the rest of my containers, right? So what I do from there, mind you probably want to make it super simple at first, and just kind of have probably something boring at first, and have chicken and broccoli and brown rice to start, just to kind of get in the groove. But what I do on a weekly basis, I'll go to Pinterest or I'll go to one of my recipes, and I will figure out what I want to eat. And every single recipe, if you search for 21 Day Fix approved recipes or Country Heat approved recipes, will say this recipe accounts for 1 green, 1 red, 1 yellow. And I will pick 3 different recipes typically for the week and alternate them. So then I'll say, okay, so I picked turkey taco bake, I don't know, ziti, and Mexican casserole. I don't know. Those are all, it sounds super starchy, but that's all I can think of right now. So I'll say, Monday I have my breakfast, Shakeology. For lunch, I'll have the Mexican casserole, and then for dinner, I will have a turkey taco bake, and then we'll have to see how many containers I have left over. So then I take from the recipe whatever those containers account for, and I write them down in my meal plan on a calendar, Monday through Friday. And then I'll have, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and typically 1 snack in there. So with that being said, the turkey taco bake counts for a yellow, a green, a protein, and so I'll write that in for dinner. And then for the Mexican casserole, that accounts for a yellow, a green, and a half a red. So I'll write that down. So now I look at my menu, and I'll say, okay, so I've got a red, a green, and a teaspoon for breakfast. And for lunch, I have half a red, a green, and a yellow. And then for dinner, I have a red, a green, and a yellow. So then I'll look, okay, so my meal plan says I need 4 greens, 4 red, 3 yellow, 4 purples, a blue, an orange, and 6 teaspoons. So then I'm like, okay, so I've only put together enough material I've only put my meal plan together for, 3 reds, 2.5 reds, 3 yellow, 2 yellow, 3 green, and a teaspoon. So I subtract that from what my actual meal plan says. And then I know that I don't have enough food for the day in there. So I have to beef up. First of all, I have to add my snack. Second of all, I have to add more food in my other meals. So that is how I go about my day. And then I do that for every single day. Some days are gonna look the same, the exact same. Other days, like typically I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday are the same. And then Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are the same. Just to, have enough variety without having to cook a crap ton. And I do this every single week. So I personally do intermittent fasting. So I eat everything between 11 and 7. But for those of you that's different. It's a different meal plan. Most people should be eating every 2 to 3 hours. So eat within the first hour of waking up. So if you wake up at 8, you need to eat before 9. Okay? And I know a lot of you do not like to eat breakfast, but you need it. You need to get your cylinders running. I'm fasting for a different reason. But it's not a one size fits all thing. So there's reasons behind why I do that. But the average person should be eating within the first hour of waking up. So I highly recommend eating within the first hour. If you hate eating in the morning, have your shake first thing. Really want to get things moving. And then while I'm making that meal plan, at the same time I make my grocery list, okay? So that way I'm like, okay, now what do I have to go buy? I know exactly what I need to go buy because I'm making it as I go, okay? I highly recommend for the first week, pretty much every day looks the same for you. Or you do what I do and then make, several days a week look the same. Because if you do something different for every meal, for every different day, you're gonna be cooking a bajillion meals and spending a lot of money, okay? So this first week of our online accountability group, we're going over, your meal plan. We're going over getting your before weights, your before measurements, all that kind of stuff. It's so important to do these things, guys. I know nobody wants to do the before weights, the before measurements, and all that kind of stuff, but they're so important. A month down the road and you finally have progress and you're like, I didn't take before pictures and I want to see how amazing I actually look because I feel amazing. I want to see blah, blah, blah. And you're going to kick yourself in the ass, okay? Excuse my language. You are going to be upset with yourself. So I promise, seriously, take your before pictures and measurements. Make sure you do those. Send them to me. Send them to your coach. Keep them if you don't want to send them. But extra accountability, send them to us. It's going to help you tremendously, I promise. Now, you may be wondering, well, what the heck do I do as far as working out? Well, there's a sheet that comes with every single program. If you're doing the all access, you just look at the workout calendar, and that's what it's called. For those of you that actually got a hard copy, it's called a workout calendar, and every single day it tells you what you should be doing, okay? Super duper black and white, what am I doing today kind of thing, okay? Another thing I recommend is before we start on day 1 on Monday, test your DVDs. Test to make sure your all access is working. Test to make sure all your programs are there. It takes 24 to 48 hours to fully upload your all access information. So sometimes you won't see all your stuff right away. Sometimes there's glitches, but double check, okay? Figure out whichever workout program and meal plan you're following and make sure that you've got all the information that you need there. Another thing I highly recommend before we start on Monday is figure out where you plan on working out. You need to make sure you have enough space. You need to make sure you have enough light. You need to make sure you have all your equipment. And equipment will depend on the workout. Like for 21 Day Fix, you need either 2 sets of weights or a band, and then a yoga mat. But whereas for Core de Force, you'll need anything, okay? So it depends on which workout you're doing or what you need. But you do need good shoes, okay? You do need good shoes. I sometimes don't work out without shoes, but it's not recommended. You need cross trainers. You don't need running shoes, you need cross trainers, okay? Please keep that in mind. And then it's really a good idea to plan out when you plan on working out, because it's so easy to come home at the end of the day and be like, I'm too tired, I'm not gonna do it. But if you make a plan to do it and you tell somebody you're gonna do it this time, you'll have accountability and you'll feel bad if you don't. Please utilize us for that. That's what we're here for, okay? please keep in mind, we're kind of just wrapping up now. Keep in mind, this is new, okay? All of this is new. Anything new is going to be hard. It's going to be overwhelming, but just do your best. Figure it out along the way. Get out of your head. This is a journey, not a destination. Take it one day at a time. Take it one workout at a time, one meal at a time, and just kind of go with the flow. Don't be in your head about, I didn't give my workout as much as I thought I should, or I had a cookie, or okay? You're going to get better every single day, okay? And then, these workouts every single one has a modifier. Follow the modifier if need be. There's nothing wrong with that. My butt still follows modifiers. There's nothing wrong with it, I promise. And okay, let's just say, you are just starting your workouts, just starting your meal plan. It can be a lot of food at first for the meal plan, okay? It can be a lot of food at first. A lot of us go from eating only once or twice a day to eating 5 and 6 times a day, every 2 to 3 hours, right? So we are like, I can't finish all this. And you feel like a failure because you can't. Well, it takes time for your body to adjust. You may not ever fully be able to eat all of it, but I want you to try your best. The first week is going to be trial and error. It really is. You got to just see how you do. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a whole new process. And then the other thing is, you may not be able to do the workouts to the best of your ability. You might not be able, I should have done it this way. Or, I didn't realize that I was supposed to do that during that move. You're still learning. You're still growing. We don't just start working out and all of a sudden have every move down pat and can do it for the full 60 seconds or, 20 seconds or whatever it is. So don't be so hard on yourself, okay? Give yourself time to really adjust. The second week, we can do some more fine tuning. We can be a little bit harder on ourselves because we've had a week to really adjust to it, okay? But you need to give yourself time to learn and grow. And the meal plan, I promise, is going to take time to get used to, okay? I understand how frustrating it is, but now I am a whiz at meal planning and meal prepping, and it takes me no time to put a meal plan together and meal prep now, but it's going to be a headache at first, I promise. But I will be uploading a template, for Monday through Sunday, and then your breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, so you guys can just plug things in, print it out, and be done into our accountability group. So that takes some of the concern out of there for you. But yeah, just go into this with the thought process of, and the mindset of, I'm gonna do my best, but I'm not gonna give myself a hard time if it's not perfect, okay? It takes time. You're not going to get to your goal more than likely in just this one 21-day group or 30-day group or 60-day group or whatever it is. It's gonna take time. Again, this is a journey. There is no ultimate destination. You just gotta do your best every day, bring your best every workout, bring your best every meal, and you'll get there, okay? I'm still well on my way. I still have a long way to go. So one day at a time, okay, guys? I hope this really helps, and I'm so excited that you guys have joined us and you're on this journey with us, and have a good day.